What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week, Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Jared Petty,
Scoop.
Sam Claiborne.
I'm very cold without my jacket.
It's always very chilly here in the studio. But we've got hot scoops for the viewers
Just like
today and the
Dairy Queen.
listeners. We're going to be talking about Nintendo NX. We're going to be talking a little bit more about Battlefront. But first,
That red light just came on. Is that a problem?
I think that means that camera's on. Switch to this
Yeah.
camera.
Has that light literally been on for years?
Now-
No, now it just turned off.
It's taunting you.
The light's trolling you. Justin, I don't know if you knew this, but last week, IGN put up its top 100 video games of all time list.
What? No.
Yeah, you should check it out. When you
Maybe
get a chance.
someone, why didn't anyone inform me?
That was a project you worked on for...
Many, many months. I wrote behind the scenes, like just the process of the road to the top 100. And so I went back to look at like the timeline, and even I didn't remember that we started on it before E3.
Wow, that is a long time.
That was like the very, very initial pre-production planning was before E3 2020.
So how long before you do this again?
I think every year is probably a little overkill.
We got a lot of complaints about doing it every year up until now. We haven't done it since 2008.
Yeah,
that was very funny.
We got. I don't want to dwell. I don't want to dwell too much on the comments, but the negative comments seem to come in three flavors. It was you have this game way too high, you have this game way too low, and you do this every year. And like that's the one that I'm like, I have been here 4.5 years and we have not done this list in the time that I've worked here.
But we did do a top 100 games of a generation,
Of the
which was
gen.
kind of the PS3, Xbox era games.
So we hadn't done
of
it
which
since-
there wasn't a lot of overlap because we dug way back into the past for top 100.
Yeah.
We did, yeah. We haven't actually discussed doing it again. I think every year is probably a little too much.
Okay.
I suspect that maybe every other year might be the cadence that makes sense, but
I'll
we
write the
ever
whole thing for you next time.
that'll be just all Tandy games.
All Tandy, everyone.
There's a million ports of Pirates.
Well, I sent you a list of the top 100 Tandy computers.
You did.
You
did.
Actual computers?
Well, some of them were handheld calculating devices because
Yeah.
Tandy only made about 65 to 70 individual computer models.
I'm gonna let you
see.
finish, but Tandy was a company that Radio Shack used to make computers in the 1980s.
The Tandy
threw
TRS-80, very important to computer history, came out the same year.
right,
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
okay.
I threw that list in the trash.
In the number one spot on our list, surprising no one, obviously, was Hearthstone. Very well deserved, I think.
Yeah, totally. The fine free-to-play game there with the cool card matching mechanic.
For our listeners at home who cannot see our faces, Hearthstone was not actually even on the list.
Is that where?
I'm the angry commenter.
On that one.
So if we were all an angry commenter and got to lament the lack of one game in IGN's bad taste, would Hearthstone be your pick?
Yeah, that'd
for
be
it?
the one, yeah, I would put on there.
Ooh, for me, I was like the chairperson, so in some ways I kind of got my say, although it was a group effort.
It's basically Justin's list.
It's really not.
Yeah, that's totally.
Please don't, because there are definitely things in the top and bottom of the list that I don't agree with. The one game that I'm most upset isn't included. I know this is a minority opinion, but I think Final Fantasy IX is a much better game than 7. I think the characters are more interesting. I think the story is more interesting. I think it's got a lot more charm. Battle system is more refined.
That's
got a black
legit.
mage.
That's legit, totally.
But I completely understand and acknowledge that most people don't feel that way. So I don't think we necessarily did anything wrong on our top 100. For me, it's Dwarf Fortress.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Again, a very niche game, not a very popular game, a very flawed game, but probably the most brilliant video game I've ever played.
Is it like a Flash game?
No, it's a downloadable game that
It's ASCII, right?
uses ASCII art.
Yeah. It's pretty spectacular. It does things that very few other video games do, and it does them.
I didn't
really well.
even consider that. I would have voted for that to be on the list.
It was
didn't even come up.
in the list. It was one of the final 50 games cut.
It was definitely, so we didn't make a list of most influential games because that would be a bunch of very early terrible games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, that is a very influential game.
Yeah.
Roguelike. One of the early, Rogue is the earliest Rogue.
Rogue, Angband, NetHack, and then Dwarf Fortress, which isn't really a roguelike,
All for
but
Tandy.
looks like one.
Well, I don't ever play that mode of it. I only play
kidding,
the,
those aren't
like
for
the
Tandy.
dwarf mode.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Jared, if you were exposing IGN's bad taste as a commenter for missing one game, what would it have been?
Probably Quake. I really do feel like we missed something missing Quake. That's
Yeah,
a
Todd
pretty
Northcutt in product was.
Yeah, that's
he's
a pretty
real mad.
great. Ultima 4 you can make a case for as well. I'm very attached to that game, but I think Quake is not just important, it's ridiculous fun.
Yep.
And it's both influential and still a blast to play. I still pull Quake out every now and then and play it. And,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Sam, is Food Fight your game?
For sure. No, I can't think of a game I wouldn't want on that list. I thought it was a great list. And
Burger Time?
People have made very passionate arguments about a lot of games that a lot of people were upset that were too low or too high or whatever. Every game had a defender. I was very, very much so wanted to get Metroid Prime in the top 20 at least, and it was like way up in the 50s based on the voters we had, which I was really surprised about. I remember there was an era in which IGN, that was probably like the favorite game here. And it's just the staff has changed so much.
It slipped that low.
The Casamassina era.
I thought Prime was in the 30s. I don't even recall now. It might have
like
been.
50
It might have been in the middle of the list somewhere.
Yeah, people became frustrated some, but I mean the difference between 40 and 80 is not that
It's
much.
very
These are
small.
incredibly great games. These games are all so good that all those spots, these games were just fantastic, and it was very, very hard trying to decide, well, I think this game's a little better than that one. But
we get pegged as console people here a lot, and I definitely, my background is in consoles. I've always had PCs though. Our list had so many great PC games that I need to play now.
I actually haven't done the
know.
math on it, but I think the list probably skews PC heavy. You
Yeah.
know, it's stuff like Deus Ex and XCOM.
All the Fallouts.
And, well, yeah, but the newer ones came to console. But
1 and 2 are so high ranked.
Monkey Island, X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter. StarCraft.
There was another
Counter-Strike. Like
There's another game that's not X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
what another
Dark something?
Yeah,
Some Star Wars game.
Jedi Knight. That might have.
Dark Forces 2 came out on console
consoles.
and PC.
Dark
yeah.
Forces,
Or no, not Dark Forces 2, pardon me.
Jedi Knight.
Jedi
2.
Knight 2.
Jedi-
yeah, that's
Jedi-
right, because Dark Forces 2 is Jedi Knight. And
Yeah.
it's really weird.
Also,
Anyway.
it's a Star Wars year, so we're all thinking about Star Wars a whole lot.
Sure, yeah.
A lot
2
of-
years from now, maybe.
A lot of things influence this list.
No, but the number one game that we picked was Super Mario Bros. 3, actually.
Yeah,
and
like,
that was the correct choice.
and Justin doesn't even agree with that. So
Yeah,
Well-
but I had to let it go, and there was actually a strong majority in the room. I was surprised. Like, I always thought that most people thought World was better. I like World better, but we got together in the room and discussed the pros and
we've
cons.
been in places where we've been in majorities of Mario World being better. Here, I definitely have. So it would just happen to be when we got this many people together, people like Mario.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem. I wrote the sort of staff opinion for Mario 1 just on behalf of all of us, and it's not challenging for me at all to extol how that's one of the most incredible games ever made, even though I do personally prefer World.
The most.
The thing that really impresses me about 3 that I included in my write-up was like Nintendo had only been making electronic games for 15 years, like the very earliest
Well, yeah, I mean-
primitive ones.
Color TV games.
Yeah, and then
Color
15
games.
Not even
years.
that long for TV games, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the NES, like proper video games, wouldn't even come till a little later.
They'd only been up for like 5 years.
Well, they
at that
did this.
No,
Pong
they made a
units.
thing
Yeah.
called Color.
Yeah, there was
Color
a thing
TV
before the
6.
NES, and they made arcade
like a
games
Pong
before
knockoff.
the NES, like Donkey Kong and stuff like that. But like the most generous time period you can give them is 15 years, and then it only took them that long to just create a game design, artistic, platforming masterpiece.
Yeah, you're right, and it is a masterpiece. This is kind of Monet versus Van Gogh when it comes to 3 in World.
Sure.
They're both masterpieces. They each do different things very, very well, and I prefer 3 for a number of reasons, including what you put there in your write-up, which I thought was fantastic. But it's a superb piece of art. I mean, we're going to be looking back at this 100 years from now, I think, and still saying that this is a touchstone for what video games could become. We had such high expectations from Super Mario Brothers, and to have a sequel that surpassed the highest possible expectations so sublimely.
Yeah, that doesn't happen much
very often.
anymore.
Yeah.
And people,
It's less common now because of leaps between consoles are so much less.
so much of what we think about as being quintessentially Mario, it didn't start with Mario. It started with Mario 3. Like, the suits, the overworld, having themed worlds that you go through, the Koopa Kids, all that stuff started with 3.
And I'm still finding things in that game I didn't know were there. I was capturing footage for the project, and I'd never noticed that in the title screen logo, the shadow of Mario and his tail is sticking out from behind the 3. I had never seen that.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I had no idea that was there.
We also have a long list of games that almost made the top 100 list.
Yeah, I mean, the process was to make sure every game at least got some consideration. We went really, really wide, and we had a list of like 300 or 350 games that were on like the very first initial cut. And then we cut and cut and cut and cut. And I think what you have is a list of the 50 or so games that were the final, like in the final round
It's
of
mainly
cuts.
Assassin's Creed and Sonic games, right?
It's I'll tell you, most of these are unranked. It's just like these were the games that were in the mix. But if this was a list of 102 games,
2 games.
102, 101 was going to be Left 4 Dead 2, and 102 would have been Soul Calibur. Those were the very final 2 games cut.
Did we put Dragon Age Inquisition on the list. Inquisition did make the. Dragon Age Origins is on our almost made the cut list.
Yeah.
As well as Silent Hill.
Yeah, those were two that were definitely very much in the mix. But we got Silent Hill 2 in there. Which,
That's the better one. I really think we got that call right. Silent Hill 2 is much more of a punch in the gut game than Silent Hill.
and again, with Dragon Age, we have
a good thing.
KOTOR on the list. We have Baldur's Gate on the list. BioWare has Mass Effect on the list. Like, they're very represented, and Dragon Age just didn't
Yeah.
quite make it.
We don't have an Assassin's Creed game in the list, do we? Assassin's Creed 2 is the one that almost made it.
It's the best game. I don't know that it was ever really that. I mean, it was close to making it, but I think it made it that far on the list just by virtue of being the best Assassin's Creed.
Super Meat Boy, that's a really fun game, but no, I don't think, I wouldn't say that's one of the top 100 games.
I pushed for that one. I actually think, I think if Super Meat Boy had been invented in the NES era, and it couldn't have been, I realize it's informed by an era, but had that game been designed in 1988, it would be on this list.
Yeah, it had a lot of support. It had support from people like Brian Albert really pulling for it. It's in several top 10 lists, but ultimately
You like it better than Bubble Bobble?
I do, yeah, and I love Bubble Bobble. Bubble Bobble is the ultimate date game. I'm pretty sure Bubble Bobble was on my personal 100 list, if I remember right.
It's definitely in my top 400.
So it's in your top 400. It's great. I love that.
There's a
list.
level in Bubble Bobble where you have to play with two players, and one person has to get a key, and one person has to get something else. And you kind of you have to co-op this level, and then you get an alternate ending sequence.
Oh.
And you get the real ending, and the real ending explains to you that happiness and love and friendship are the most important.
That's why there has to be two of you. That's the only way to get the true ending is if you're playing together.
But before you beat the game, the boss is so hard that you'll hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it though. Did you beat it that way?
I've definitely
I've done
beat
that
it.
too.
Yeah, me too.
It
It's
sucks.
great.
Rob Ringwald and I. Well done, Rob.
What GTAs did we have on the list?
Vice City and 5.
3 wasn't
Yeah.
the final list. San Andreas is in the almost made it list.
There's a lot of support for San Andreas.
Oh, yeah, people have so much fun with that game.
Vice City being on there instead of 3, I see a lot of comments as being a strange choice just because, 3 was like this lightning bolt.
It's kind of like the influence thing really makes a call like that for us. It's like, that game is so important. It's so incredibly
Yeah.
important, and it was really fun, but a lot of people just had a better time with
I don't know. Vice City did a lot better job of it set GTA more thoroughly, more on this path of lampooning American culture and
The setting
really,
is so interesting.
really trying to capture the look and feel of a specific place in a specific time.
Remember that commercial? And I ran.
Oh, that's a testimony to the power of music in a
so
game. That's a
funny.
lot of why Vice City was
mean,
more fun.
that's-
Is the
yeah.
music was so good.
I'm an 80s kid. I love 80s music, so yeah, that was perfect for me. We went back, we had a big discussion about Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3.
Yep.
Ended up putting Mega Man 2 on the list instead of 3.
Much to Sam's chagrin.
Yeah, I don't really fight for that too much. I understand why people. I think they're both great. I just love how all the robots from 2 are in 3.
Yeah.
But they
And
don't
then-
look like themselves.
Yeah,
They look like little clones.
and then I like the Shadow Masters levels too. It just extends the game.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah. And Mega Man 3 is epic, but I think Mega Man 2 is. I like the compactness of 2. I like the fact that I can sit down at one sitting in an hour and play.
That
all the way
intro
through the
music
thing.
in Mega Man 3 though starts out slow.
Yeah, but what about that?
Starts pumping.
Dun, 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 up the building in 2.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so
that's
good
really
too.
good. Dun, 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 dun.
That's 3.
Dun, 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 dun. You mentioned Dwarf Fortress. Tao was really pushing for Herzog's Vi.
Oh, Herzog's Vi is fun.
It's fantastic.
It's yeah.
But also again, always on top lists of influential games.
So that game, I mean, we should mention that game basically invented the RTS genre.
Yeah.
So its influence can't
It
be
was a
overstated.
Sega Genesis game, wasn't it?
Yep.
It was. So obviously incredibly influential, but it was very sort of primitive and it deserves all the credit that it gets for starting, creating a genre. But it wasn't until later games that it became sort of eminently playable.
Yeah, well, it was actually in a lot of places poorly reviewed when it came out because people didn't understand
They
it.
didn't get what it was
It's
trying
so
to do.
funny.
But it had
Those
the-
reviews are great.
Yeah, it is. But it did have the discipline to it was designed for the console and reflected that, or at least it took the fact that here, what can I do with a D-pad and 3 buttons?
Yeah, it's great.
and that's really great.
Jared, did it hurt to your soul that Robotron 2084 did not make the list?
I wanted that there badly. That's my favorite arcade game, and as much
Not
as
Star Wars?
no, not Star Wars. Although Star Wars is wonderful, and so
I like
is
the look and sound of Star Wars, but I don't know.
You need to spend some more time with it.
it's superb. Star Wars is
about
great, and the games that did make
35 years.
Galaga, Miss Pac, Donkey Kong, those were all absolutely games that are superb. But Robotron, it's the most video gamey video game. It's
Yeah.
just like the lights, the sounds, the action of that game. I'm just like, if you were going to draw a lampoon of what a video game is, it would be Robotron. It's so much fun. So yeah, it hurt a little. It's not there.
I always had a soft spot for Robotron 64.
Oh,
Wow, I don't think
The game's great.
I didn't play that.
I like how it pans in like from
Yeah.
the top, and then you're like in 3D and shooting or it's kind of isometric, but
Yeah.
you're shooting these really bad polygons.
I wonder,
They're,
like,
they're just not designed well at all.
In my mind, that
But
game
it works.
is great, and I wonder
Yeah.
if I were to go back and play it today, like,
Yeah,
how, like is that game
one
really
trip
good?
to YouTube will probably dissuade you. Just going and watching it again, but it
it's
mostly
on
just made
Nintendo
me wish.
64, but it looks like Star Fox.
Yeah, it made me wish I were playing Robotron.
We actually don't have time to talk about every single one of these games.
Yeah,
but
we're skipping around.
But Sonic is not on the top 100.
no
list.
Sonic and no Mario Kart.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
You know,
Sonic.
okay, there's Mario Kart games on the top 100
No,
list.
there's not.
There's not a
I don't
single
think
one.
not a single one.
No
made
Mario
it.
Kart game made the top
Well,
100.
so a couple things happened there. The first one was that there was no consensus between like most people seem to think 8 is maybe overall the best one, but there's a lot of support for 64 and there's a lot of support for the original. And then in the end, we couldn't coalesce around.
It was like that year when the Godfather's actors all got nominated for the same award category.
And none of them won.
Yeah, I think Brando actually
Sure,
did win for
yeah.
the thing of it. But yeah, we couldn't all
64
agree.
should won.
You said 64?
No,
Okay.
I think GameCube's the best one, but I would have voted for Mario 64 to get one on the list.
Okay, see, I just said my favorite one's
This is
DS.
the Game of Thrones we play with this
Yeah.
list.
Yeah, I just said DS. You'd have said Double Dash then?
No, I'm not for a list. Like I had the most fun with that, but
don't
I just
know.
want a Mario Kart game on there. That's
I don't know that I would go so far as to
I think
call,
Super Nintendo one is boring. I don't like that one.
it's a little slow at this point, but
Exactly. I
I
don't
think
know.
Mario Kart 8 is amazing.
Exactly. I don't think I would call it a miss that we don't have a Mario Kart on the list. I mean, there are great games. That doesn't mean it's one of the 100 best ever made. But I do think that if people could have coalesced around a single one, and really sort of arrived at some
Yeah.
consensus, it probably would have snuck on there.
It would have been the top 20.
It wouldn't have been that high.
I think people really like that series.
All right, well, you can find the full list of IGN's top 100 video games of all time at IGN.com.
We didn't talk about Sonic. Do we need to get
We
into
just
it?
we just said that there's no Sonic on the list.
Yeah, that's because the Sonic games aren't good.
That's true.
Yeah.
I disagree.
They're-
I think they're not good, but I really had fun with them at the time.
I think
That's what this list was made on.
They fooled kids for a generation by being fast and having tude, and like they're not.
Totally
they're
fine
not-
with
They were pretty and made neat sounds. And Sonic 1 and 2 are fine video games, but they're not great video games.
the one that
good video
the one
games.
that did in that final round of cuts, Sonic CD
Yeah.
was cut, which is the best Sonic game,
agree.
and it did almost make its way on.
Totally disagree.
Oh, what do you think's the best one?
1, 2, and 3 are all great.
Three?
I think
I like three the best.
I suspect that the only reason
Probably
CD
one.
didn't make it on is because more people. It's on the Sega CD, right? So it didn't
Yeah.
get.
I owned
played as
it.
widely.
I owned that and the Sega
It's been
CD.
ported to other platforms, and people should check it out.
I tried to get Sewer Shark on this list, guys. 3, 6,
Snow
9.
job.
Snow job. Yes, exactly.
All right, moving on. Nintendo's next console is codenamed NX. And it reportedly has industry-leading chips and
Delicious Doritos.
Speaking of industry-leading chips, I'd like to take this moment to talk about Doritos.
moment to thank our sponsors. I would love it if Game Soup were sponsored by Doritos.
I'd like to just have some industry-leading chips of any variety right now.
Yeah, I'd go for some Lay's.
Just lunchtime.
Lay's would be good.
Industry-leading chips and a 2016 release window.
Yeah. All right. So the 2016, they've talked about some before, but industry-leading chips. Okay, so Nintendo. It's not like Nintendo can't.
I can't not
say-
say it.
Okay, let's just talk about technology.
Yeah.
It's not like Nintendo can't make great processor technology. They've made cutting-edge systems before. You think about the GameCube. The GameCube was
Yes.
more powerful than the PlayStation 2, or at least when it came to what you could get out of it easily. It was certainly more user-friendly than the PlayStation 2 when it came out, and arguably more powerful. Nintendo has made cutting-edge technology many times before. The SNES, same thing, markedly more powerful than the Genesis.
And the Nintendo 64 and the
But they
NES.
haven't done that in a long time because they've got this kind of winning strategy where they make this, hey, this thing is neat or interesting in an inexpensive way, and they can combine price point and something cool. And with the Wii U, that did not work out. But with the Wii, that's what sold the thing. A neat technology that was also not that expensive.
This report also didn't confirm, but it also piled on the rumor that it's a console that's also a
has a
gamepad
handheld
still with a
component.
handheld.
The quote is mobile unit that could either be used in conjunction with the console or taken on the road for separate use.
Which is a dream. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't just play from that device totally. Like maybe that just streams to your TV. That's what I would like. I don't know why it would need to be more powerful. Why you would need more power in a separate box.
Like the Wii U, for all of its problems, the streaming technology that's in there is proprietary. It's Nintendo's own tech that they developed to get that the latency down so low. And I would be very surprised to not see that tech reused.
Well, they could still stream it too, like a Chromecast type thing. But I just wonder if there's like a box that adds power. Like that seems weird.
I think that's because of power. I think that's the problem. It's battery. Battery technology has not really kept up with processor ability, and it's hard to have a handheld that can really, really crank out the kind of graphics that something that's plugged into the wall can
then
do.
You can't.
That's my suspicion.
Then you can't take it on the go.
Not everything. Yeah, I'd be
Like,
surprised
it'd be
if
in
you
your
could do everything
home.
with it.
Remember that guy was playing the Wii U on the train when it first came out?
No, I don't remember that.
So you can use a Wii U without a television entirely.
Yeah, it just needs
so you can
power.
you just need to, if you have a train in Japan, you can just plug it into the wall.
I saw a picture of a guy on an airplane playing Wii U.
It's really funny.
Like the console was in his carry-on bag, and then he had just had the gamepad.
But just the fact that that's like still like entertaining and appealing to me to like play something from a console like right on your handheld means like that's a market that they could totally target.
I played just as much solo Smash on my gamepad as I did on my TV. Like if I was just doing the Smash challenges and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I like everything about the Wii U except its kind of skinny software library and the high price point. I felt
that means we have to wait another like 6 years for a Zelda game using those new industry-leading chips.
I do want to point out industry-leading chips like Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft. They don't make their own chips. Like it's all contracted out to it's been AMD lately.
Yeah. They call them crisps in English.
Leading crisps.
That's really good. So I kind of question, it's like, I don't know, it's all about like, they contract, some other third party to make the guts that are going to be in the console, and then they tell them what the priority is going to be. Like the priority for the Wii U was we want this thing to boot up in a second.
Yeah.
Like the priority was less about the raw power of the device.
Yeah,
that was their priority at the first. They got it all wrong because it took like 30 seconds.
And like low power consumption, I think was another one. Like,
and I want to steal this. I think it's from Jeremy Parrish. They're the kings of good enough. A lot of their design philosophy is around offering something at a low price point.
Hardware design.
Exactly. Their hardware design philosophy is low price point, efficiency, get it into the hands of lots of people, and that didn't work out this generation. But they are an engineering company. I mean, that is their legacy, and they still think of themselves that way, I think. This is a company that has been creating hardware devices for decades.
Yeah, engineering and playing cards.
Yeah, and playing cards, absolutely. So Hanafuda.
The Wii U launched in 2012, is that right?
I don't remember.
nobody knows.
No.
The year of Luigi,
no
that
way
was
to
the year
find out.
after, right?
Well, let's work backwards. It's 2015. PS4 and Xbox One have been out 2 years now. Mm-hmm. That's 2013. Wii U was a year before.
We did it.
All right.
We did it, everybody.
Well done, sir.
So, if the NX is out next year,
Yeah.
4 years, that's got to be one of the fastest turnarounds for a.
I don't know, the
hardware
Sega CD and the
manufacturer.
32X.
Well, the 32X was an
As
accessory,
additions.
though.
The
So
Dreamcast
it's
had 18 months in America.
What's that?
The Dreamcast had 18
Sorry,
months in
that was the
America.
There was
example
no
that she
follow-up.
used.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like.
Oh, I was talking about switching over.
Yeah.
So Genesis to Saturn to Dreamcast is really fast.
Well, yeah, see that. Yeah,
Well,
Genesis was 95.
Genesis was like. Genesis was like 89.
Well, Genesis died in 90.
10 years there.
Genesis died in 95. They killed it really quick. 95 was Saturn, and by 99 it was Dreamcast.
Saturn was out in 95?
Yeah, Saturn came out at the
Saturn
end
and
of 95.
Dreamcast was really fast, but the Genesis totally had a long life.
Yeah, Genesis had a very long life, but they killed it quick. They could have gotten a couple of as I understand it,
because of the
Kalinske,
Saturn.
one of the reasons that he had like trouble with the Japanese branch was that he wanted to keep selling games for the Genesis.
That was the
for a
Super
while.
Nintendo's whole thing, right? Is that we're going to watch you guys put out a disc system and a 32X cartridge expansion, but we're just going to put out games with good chips in them that do the same thing.
Nintendo kind of in a tight spot right now. They don't have a choice. The NX has to come out. We use a disaster.
Yeah.
The company doesn't really make that many products. They have to do it. So I totally get that. But it coming out in 2016, right in the middle of the PS4 and
the
Xbox
thing.
One's lifespan, it just puts them in a weird position. Like these consoles, since the beginning of time, have always been at most a year apart, and the Dreamcast is the one exception because Sega was in a very similar boat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not trying to spell a scenario of doom here. It's just interesting. Like I don't really know what to make of it. Like
Well, they've killed things
they'll
before.
they'll probably be like I suspect the NX will be as powerful, if not more powerful, than the PS4 and Xbox One. 3 years have
Yeah,
passed.
they did
Yeah.
this. They did this with the Virtual Boy and Nintendo 64.
Right, yeah, they've
they
killed
just
it.
swept it under the rug. They could easily do that with this. I would love to do graphics comparisons videos next year and have the Nintendo system be a little bit better than.
But it can't
stuff,
it can't do what the Wii U did and just have, hey, here are the EA and Activision games from a year ago. Now we have them on our new console.
No, they're gonna have to
They
do
would
more
do the
than that.
contemporary games, but it's going to take a cycle to get those in production.
Oh man, I don't know.
gonna be
I just
cool.
don't feel like Nintendo's stuck in a situation where like the Call of Duty on the Wii U was actually like pretty cool. It did some interesting stuff with the gamepad, but just like nobody cares.
Yeah.
No one cares. Like even and Mass Effect on Wii U was pretty cool. Like there's a bunch of games that are like, oh, this is pretty cool, but like none of that just moved the needle for them.
Yeah, it can't be its own. I don't think it can be its own thing again. Like it has to be a similar, just a video games machine, similar to the Xbox One and PS4, so all these companies can port their games to it.
Yeah, I do really want.
Which still didn't work for GameCube.
I didn't play.
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't play Skyward Sword because I was kind of over the Wii motion controls by that point, and that's the first like mainline Zelda game that I've missed maybe ever. And so it made me realize I'm like, man, I've not played a Zelda in a long, long time. Like if they make that an NX exclusive, like
It's gonna pour out there.
yeah, that'll sell.
I would be mad if they did that because, and people who own Wii U's right now should be too, because
They promised.
we all wanted it for Wii U, and now we have to wait for and buy another console to play. So
But we don't know that for sure yet. I mean,
Nope.
it could be a GameCube Wii thing with Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
It'd be the same kind of situation.
It would also, if it didn't come to Wii U, would that be the first Nintendo console that didn't get its own Zelda game?
Didn't get its own Zelda.
the Wind Waker HD was pretty cool, but
Well, yeah, but it's not an original Zelda game.
Yeah, I mean, because Twilight Princess did technically come out at the. Yeah, you had one. Yeah, no, that would be the first one. Yeah, you're right.
All right, moving on. This week's Battlefront update, they've announced 2 new hero characters, 1 new villain character. Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Emperor Palpatine will be in the game.
I'm looking forward to unlimited power.
Unlimited power.
Unlimited power. Yeah, just being able to walk around. Although I'm worried that when my thing's recharging, they're over in the corner, I'm not going to feel quite so unlimited. I really think Palpatine should just be able to walk around and shoot lightning until he dies.
Yeah. Well,
the character model art looked really cool.
I've really been enjoying the Battlefront gifs more than I enjoyed actually playing.
I haven't even seen
the
them.
game
You have to-
itself.
you have to link
no,
them
just
to me.
like funny. Like I saw one of just Vader wrecking dudes, and then an X-wing just crashes into him. Like the guy just kamikazed himself. He took one for the team in order to take.
That would
Vader
totally
out.
work on the real Darth Vader.
Yeah,
I
apparently.
also saw a Rebel Trooper just watching, and in the distance he sees Darth Vader tearing dudes up, and Darth Vader's like leaping towards him, swinging his sword, like slicing dudes down left and right, and the match ends right when Darth Vader's right in front of his face. He's like swinging his lightsaber.
It's like
Pretty good.
Saved by the Bell.
Like the game itself was, it was fun, but it was kind of so-so on it. But I feel like it's going to be one of those games like StarCraft or like a few others that I enjoy watching more than playing.
Do you see Leia's powers are kind of goofy?
What are Leia's powers?
She buffs the people around her,
Okay.
and she turns them into if you spawn next to her, you're like the Alderaan honor guard or something. I don't know.
Okay.
something.
So it's like a support class type thing?
Yeah.
Alderaan
I
Honor
like
Guard,
that.
if she's a support class. But she also has an ability where she can take down stormtroopers with 1 hit,
Oh,
apparently.
interesting.
They should have just given her force powers. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's a
that's good.
Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Han Solo is meant to be an easy hero character to get into. He's just like an all-rounder.
Okay.
And then, Palpatine has this Force Lightning ability, and then he also is a support unit for the Empire.
Yeah, Palpatine should just be able to run around the map, cackling and shooting things, and just put a timer on it.
How do you
Make
think
him
he'll
like
handle the
AT-AT.
movement? Do you think
It's
he's
like-
super slow?
What? Palpatine's like
He can
this?
probably warp.
No, he does that spinny thing
various-
from Phantom Menace, maybe. Or, no, I mean from Revenge of the Sith, where he's just like behind his desk and suddenly he's like, "Rah!" like flying through the air. Exactly.
Maybe he'll have a throne and he just zips around on that.
Fun
That's
fact,
amazing.
Dune style.
The name,
I like that.
The name Palpatine is never actually said in Empire or
Oh,
Return
yeah.
of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, like it
They
was,
just say the Emperor?
yeah, it was just from
So-
like marketing materials. And
People
other
knew it at
things.
the time. For
Sheev
sure.
Yep.
Palpatine. Sheev. That's his first name.
Sheev Palpatine.
Yeah.
It's the
But
same
he
thing
doesn't need a first name because
Same thing-
he's a real person too, right?
with Ewok.
Yep.
Oh, wait, with the Ewoks?
The word
Never-
Ewok
never-
is never,
never
said
uttered in the
Return of
movie.
Jedi.
Ah, that makes sense, right. Or Wicked or any of that, right? Yeah, no, Wicked. No, wow, fun.
But Ewok is one of those things like everyone on Earth knows Ewok, even though it's not technically in the movie.
Wookiees mentioned.
Let the Wookiee win.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta let him win. Absolutely. Boba Fett's not said till the 3rd movie, right? In Empire,
Yeah, I
they
don't
never
think
say
they
his
say
name,
it
do
in
they?
Empire, yeah.
He's just that cool guy that outsmarts Han Solo.
Do you guys want to talk about the new Star Wars trailer at all?
Yeah.
There's It's real good. We've all got our tickets to go see Star Wars.
Yeah.
Sam's gonna be sitting like 3 rows in front of me.
It shut the office down when the tickets went on sale.
Well, then we were responsible for shutting down the rest of the world. We all got in there first.
And then there was a panic. Like there was panic in the office. Whoa!
Yeah.
People running back to their desk.
Yeah.
Well, it was important to a lot of us, and I know to people out there too, to see it in 2D. I think I want to see it on film in 2D first, and I guess digital projection is how they do it all. I will definitely see it in 3D, but I'm excited to see it in 2D.
I've said before on GameScoop, I like Star Wars, I'm a fan of it, but I don't have like the deep passion for it that other people did. And even I pre-ordered my tickets 2 months early, not necessarily because like, oh my God, Star Wars, but just because if you don't do that, you're not seeing that movie for a while.
For a few days. Well, it was great
surprising.
watching what happened to The Office the next day. I was out the day the tickets went for sale that evening, so I come back.
Coincidence?
And everybody. No,
Did you bring down the sites?
I brought them all down. That's what I was doing.
you get
I was
tickets?
hacking it. Yeah, I got tickets really easily. I went to Cinemark's website and just bought them directly from the theater, and it was no problem at all.
Yeah.
I also heard a
It's just
story.
tough in San Francisco because of the population.
Right, I live in the suburbs, so it's much easier. But yeah, it was, coming in the next day, everybody was in a good mood all day because of Star Wars. People were just sitting around all day talking about Star Wars.
Look at that! Look at that weird blue monkey alien in the background.
Also, I had pizza for lunch that day, so I was in a good mood.
That's a good thing, yeah. But it was a good trailer. I mean, all the trailers kind of have a theme. The first teaser was like, Star Wars! And the second one was, we're not Phantom Menace. And this one was kind of, hey, here's 2 or 3 people looking at each other with intense emotions, whether it be anger or fear or love or regret or excitement or fierceness. It's all about people interacting, and that was a great message.
If I were to criticize this trailer, which I would never do because I thought it was great and I can't wait for the movie, and I do have reservations because I don't want to be Phantom Menaced. I would say that it's pushing too hard in the we're not Phantom Menace direction now by making it look exactly like Star Wars Episode 1.
A New Hope.
Or sorry, Episode 4.
Yeah.
Which I refuse to call New Hope. Come
So
on.
I don't say this to be a wet blanket or be a naysayer, but I just bring it up as a thought experiment. Just imagine a world where this movie is bad.
Or it's as good as the Star Trek remake.
Like, can you imagine people will lose their minds? Like, it's just a foregone conclusion. Like, of course the movie is going to be great, but it's like, what if?
Well, I don't think anybody
it's like,
thinks that.
did you see Fanboys? I mean, it's the very last line of the movie. What if it's bad? They're sitting in the theater, and then it cuts to black, and sure, that can happen.
But it does look like Star Wars, and it has somebody who's like at a desert planet who aches to get off of it and is longing looking up at the sky. It's got a Death Star.
Yeah, it's got
a Death Star with trench run.
It's got a Star Killer base.
It's got a new Darth Vader.
I hope. I'm a big fan of the 2 new Star Treks, but they don't feel like movies that I'm gonna care about in 20 years necessarily. Like they're just fun movies. And I hope that Star Wars
that you watch with your family at Thanksgiving.
I hope that.
But I hope the Han and Leia and Luke connection and R2D2 and C-3PO will connect these movies better than
They're
those.
totally holding back Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Like, how much is Luke Skywalker in this movie?
What's the argument to say that he's not the hand that holds C-3PO back?
Oh, the hand is different.
I thought he was like having a moment with
That's
C-3PO.
been 30
or
years.
with R2D2.
No, I think
You don't think he has
the
a better
argument
hand?
is that the arm looks skinny and not like a powerful.
Like
masculine.
I was thinking, like he got his flesh burned off.
Oh, there's a lot of possibilities. That very well could be Luke. I think it's just they don't want us to know. Maybe Luke's in 70 minutes of the movie. That's what I'm hoping for. Is
And
that it turns out
C-3PO
like Luke is actually in every scene they're not showing. Like that would be
The red
amazing.
arm C-3PO is not in this new trailer either.
Yeah, we haven't seen him with his weird arm in this trailer.
He's never been in any of the trailers.
Yeah, we just see him in promotional imagery. At this
And
point.
R2D2's only in that one scene.
Right.
One of my
What are they going to do if they're not just all over this movie?
Well, no, I
need
think-
to have C-3PO and R2D2.
No, I
All
don't think they
joking
should be
aside,
all over.
They're the
it.
main characters.
No, all joking aside, I don't think we're going to see all that much of Luke at all.
Yeah, I hope that these movies stand on their own, and I don't want too much of those old characters. I really don't. Like
I just want
them,
R2D2. I don't know why we can't all get behind
I want them
R2D2.
to.
I'm with you on that.
I don't want them to be more than like Obi-Wan in A New Hope. Like it should be about the new.
About Nuke. I'm with you, actually, on that, except R2D2, because I love him and he's the best robot ever. Closely followed by Maximilian from the Black Hole.
Wow.
We did top robots
Is that the one
ever
with the
once.
spinning?
I can't remember if he was.
He's
on.
the red guy with the
bad
spinning.
guy.
Yeah,
He doesn't he like chop someone up with a spinning
Yeah, he
blade?
kills Anthony Perkins. Like, is this in a Disney movie? It's
Yeah.
like spinning, it just guts him.
Yeah,
like
it's pretty hardcore.
amazing.
What movie?
In the Black Hole.
Oh, I've been telling you how much I want to see that.
Yeah, you got to see that, Sam. That's a Sam movie.
Yeah, I really want to see that. I hear
wanna
it's
watch that
terrible.
now.
Yeah.
We should watch it.
Yeah.
And then and Megaforce.
Megaforce
two
with
of my
Barry
top on the
Bostwick.
list.
Oh, man.
My favorite little tiny moment in the whole trailer is when they're walking into, it looks like maybe the temple with all the flags on the top, and there's that red robot there, the red droid.
Yeah.
But it's not that red droid, it's the way BB-8 reacts to it. It's like staring at it
He's,
and
like,
kind of
scared.
like he turns his little robot head and is like and steers like away from him a little bit. He's like a little cautious.
Yeah.
That's
And
like
it's
when C-3PO, like when he sees other people, he's like, disgusting. He's just like, he hates the other droids.
that little attention to detail of BB-8 reacting to that droid gives me gives me more hope than like almost anything else I saw that they're
A new
All right, we have to sprint to the end of the show this week. Let's check in with the listeners.
Hey listeners.
Is it Big Tony?
Remember, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com, just like Rich Troy did. And Rich says, I hope Jared makes an appearance this week,
Oh, thank you.
because I have a quick question related to him.
Oh, no.
It's about Tandy.
Recently, I watched the excellent movie Inside Out.
Okay.
And I was wondering if Jared is indeed the voice of Bing Bong. Because if not, the similarity is uncanny.
We interviewed the voice of Bing Bong recently on IGN.com. You can check out that interview that Marty Sleva did.
Yeah.
It's an interview with Jared Petty.
No.
No, it's no. I'm not the
That
voice of
guy's
Bing
in
Bong.
Boardwalk Empire, I think.
Yeah, I've been told I sound like the bald guy from Princess Bride and the dinosaur
Inconceivable.
from the dinosaur. From,
Wow.
now I have guilt, like that one from Toy Story.
Toy Story,
That's
yeah.
my id. Like that dinosaur is my inner being. Like that, just like I'm so my source of power.
Have you seen Inside Out?
Oh yeah,
really,
totally.
really
I am not the voice of that character, but I wish I were. Because
Have you seen Inside Out?
Yeah, I did see it. And there's that broccoli pizza
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
That place, I think, is referencing multiple pizza places in the city, kind of combining them.
Yeah.
Because I think it's supposed to be Arizmendi mixed with the broccoli Rob pizza at Pizzeria Delfino, which is awesome pizza.
Yeah. Could
It's
be.
Broccoli Rab, R-A-A-B.
I think it's Rob.
I just want to know how much money that family's making that they can afford that house
I
in
know.
San Francisco.
I thought that exact same thing. Next email comes from Andrew. He says,
Millions
hey,
of dollars.
hey y'all. I heard discussion on the possibility of a sequel to Red Dead Redemption. What are your thoughts on a prequel game featuring a younger John Marston robbing banks, robbing trains, and pulling off heists with Dutch's gang? I really didn't like playing as John's son, so this would be much more fun to me.
I would absolutely love to play a game set earlier. That game is set in the
I
early.
think you'd be just a bad guy.
Right. Well, you
Well,
would, but that'd be fun. It's set in the early 20th century.
You're kind of a bad guy.
I'd like to jump back to a period of time where you really are in the golden age of the Old West, maybe the 1870s. And that might be too far back for those characters. I don't know, but I mean, there's so much you can do with Native American culture that you can do with the rise of Dodge City and Tombstone and the all that stuff that happened back then.
Whatever you do with the next Red Dead almost certainly has to be set earlier.
I've
Space.
got
They
it.
can do space.
I've got
Mars.
it. Red Dead Redemption prequel. You're the sheriff chasing after John Marston.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
You can't.
fun.
That's what I was gonna say. It almost has to be set earlier, but you can't be Marston or a member of his gang because they're too. I mean, they're straight up villains. Like
Yeah,
they're
it would just be- you'd be
abhorrent
just bad guys,
character.
yeah.
Yeah, you'd be just bad guys, and not bad guys in the GTA way.
Yeah.
What if there was cowboys in central Mexico and northern Mexico?
Yeah.
You could do a cowboy setting there, and they'd be like in like Aztec ruins.
Like a Caballero game? Oh, that'd be amazing. Or like, I want to be maybe a Native American and like stand on a hill and like watch, Son of the Morning Star types thing, watch Custer get wiped out. Or there's all these iconic moments. Western history is a hobby, and there's so many opportunities. I heard somebody suggest once that a game set during the San Francisco quake would make a great Red Dead.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Just total destruction.
Yeah.
Also, another Halloween game from Red Dead would be great too. The Red Dead Undead
The Undead Nightmare
spinoff was
so
really
cool.
good.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Yes, to answer your question, Andrew, we would play a Red Dead Redemption prequel. Our 20 questions suggestion this week comes from Dave Sullivan.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Everybody knows how this works. You have 20 questions, yes or no questions, to guess this game starting now.
It's basically guessing an animal at this point.
Justin bailed us out last
That's
time.
what it's come down to.
Okay, yeah, that earthworm.
Is it an insect?
Yeah.
No.
Was this game released before January 1st, 2000?
Yes.
All right. Was this game released before January 1st, 1990?
Come on, it's always the second question.
No.
Okay, no. Okay, so it's between the two.
But it sounds like it's from the early 90s.
It could be from that hesitation, or that could be
We know how to read you.
that could be a cunning ruse.
Wow. You think
be it.
Damon's thinking that far ahead?
Yeah.
Who's he working with? Taylor? Who is it?
Yeah,
This is
Sullivan.
Sorry.
Taylor Sullivan.
No,
All right.
this one's Dave Sullivan.
Dave Sullivan.
Is
Sean
this
Sullivan?
on? Is this in a? I'm just trying to think of all the questions you always ask first. Anyway, is this on Super Nintendo?
It eventually did come to Super Nintendo.
Cool.
Oh, I may
But
know what
not
this is.
originally.
I may know what this
So
is.
it sounds like it's a
already.
PC game ported to Super Nintendo.
Okay, this is fun.
Guess it in
It's-
4 questions.
well, I mean,
yeah.
I guess it could be a
No,
Genesis.
I already have an idea what this could be. But
You play as a
Right.
human?
Yes.
yes, or maybe
Yes,
this
you
is,
do.
Maybe this is not what I thought it was.
Think.
Is this a platforming game?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
James Bond. And you play as a fish.
Finally.
Okay.
James
Cross-platform, made
Or
it
is
to
it
the
a duck?
Super
I can't remember.
Nintendo platforming game.
Maybe it's
Where
Trolls,
you play as a human.
based on Trolls, Treasure Trolls. It's a platformer.
Yep. Platformer.
Oh,
eventually-
well, was it on? No, I guess we should say arcade. Well, platform could be in arcades too. Was this based on a licensed property?
No.
Okay, it's not a licensed property.
Is this game primarily associated with being on Nintendo platforms?
No.
Is this game
So don't
noted?
focus on SNES so much.
Is this game noted for its cinematics?
Known for it? I don't think so.
Okay, then this isn't what I was thinking.
Did it
of.
begin as an arcade game?
No.
Ooh.
All right.
So PC or Genesis
Yeah, I was thinking Prince of Persia.
or
All right.
Bonk maybe?
Well, that was late '80s, but that would have been cinematic. So
Bonk's
it's not
pretty
that.
good.
Bonk is good.
Did Bonk appear on the SNES?
Bonk eventually
on
came to the
NES.
SNES. Yes, Bonk did eventually come to the SNES.
Okay. And he's kind of human-like.
Is this I don't okay, I was gonna ask if this
Why
is
don't
in
you
caveman times.
ask if it's a Hudson
Yeah.
game?
Yeah, is it a Hudson game?
Yes.
Okay, that's a very good chance. Does this game feature a caveman?
Yes.
All right, yeah. There you go.
Is this game Bonk?
Well, what, I don't know what I don't know what I don't even
do I have to say the name of it?
Yeah.
Oh, we have to narrow it down that much?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, The Adventures of Bonk or
there's
Super
Bonk, there's Bonk's
Zonk.
Revenge, there's Air Zonk, there's. Okay, is this the second game in a series?
No.
Okay.
See, I don't know. I'm gonna miss this because I,
can
don't
help
know
with
the
some of
Bonk
these.
games that well.
Let's try first, third.
Well, the first
let's
one's
keep
called
going.
Bonk's Adventure.
Right, the second one's Bonk's Revenge. The third one is it's PC Genjin. What's the American name?
I think we need to know about that.
Okay. Why don't we ask if it's the first in a series?
Yeah.
Is it the first game in a series?
Yes.
Bonk's Adventure. Okay, there we go. Is it Bonk's Adventure?
Yes.
There we go.
Is it a human? Kind of. Yeah, he's a total
Neanderthals, like I don't know, like
Well, no, that's a really good point, Damon. He could easily be a Neanderthal or a what is the other one?
What? Home of the Neanderthal?
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
single player platformer 1990.
Fun fact, kids,
Released
play
on the
Revenge. That's the good one.
TurboGrafx 16. And then it was
Damon.
ported to a bunch of other platforms.
Very rare NES game.
I was always on
Yeah.
Team
I have a
Chuck
copy of
Rock.
that.
On Team Chuck
Chuck Rock.
Yeah.
What about Joe Mac?
Joe
Caveman-
Mac is
yeah.
so good. I love that series.
Caveman Ninjas.
Great arcade
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Super fun co-op.
What's the other one? There's a lot of caveman games.
Yeah,
from that period
Big
of time.
Nose.
What's
BC's Quest for Tires.
BC's Quest for
Big Nose
Tires for the
Freakout.
Clip Edition. Yeah.
Yeah, Caveman Games. Trog.
Yeah.
I can keep going.
Yep. Trog. That's what I was trying to think of.
We even have a couple minutes to talk about the games we're playing this weekend. I'll be playing more Metal Gear Solid 5 and Hearthstone.
I'm not allowed to talk about either one yet, but I'm playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Halo 5.
Ooh, look at you.
And I guess
You fancy,
we can talk about the first 3 levels of Halo 5 campaign, which I'm liking quite a bit.
I will this is a work weekend, so it'll be Halo 5 and preparing for other upcoming games. I don't think there's going to be. I probably won't be playing games for amusement until the beginning of December. We've reached that point in the year.
Come on, Jared.
No, that's this point.
But luckily
on,
you
usually.
get-
We played Zelda together.
We did play Solo together. Also, we'll be playing.
you not
I'll be
amused?
Oh, can I do
Triforce Heroes.
can I
No,
do
we
a
had
let's-
fun playing together. I just don't like playing alone that much.
Yeah, I had fun. I was terrible though. I'm that guy on the Triforce Heroes party that drags you down. So the
You
one
weren't that bad.
was pretty bad.
Brendan
But
was really good.
I will be playing Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti, the SD Splatterhouse.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Oh, who are you
I'm
playing
looking
that
with Damon Hatfield here on IGN.com, but also just for fun because that game's great.
Yeah, that looks cool. I'll probably go back into Metal Gear. I beat Halo. I played a little bit on Legendary. I'll go back into Metal Gear eventually. But right now, I also got, because I've been playing Metal Gear so much, I got Metal Gear Solid 3D, Snake Eater 3D on 3DS. And it is the...
I don't even remember that being
it's
released
port
for
of
that.
Metal Gear Solid 3, which I've played parts of, and I don't like that game. But I'm going to try to like it. because I respect people that say that that's their favorite game. I just want to figure out why, and I'm trying to get into it. So it works. I just bought my new 3DS, the little model, the smaller Animal Crossing model, and so it automatically recognizes the nub and the extra buttons as the boat that it actually shipped to around the time as it came out. You know, the big harness.
Yeah.
We called it the boat. It's called the Circle Pad Pro. Anyway,
That's right.
you can use 2 sticks. It's more Metal Gear. It's very different than 5.
Yeah. I never played that one. So.
But I started it and I've
yeah.
been playing it.
Well, let me know. Report back to us.
Yeah, I know. It's fun to play on the train. So
Yeah.
That boss fight against the end, man. So good. So good.
All right, that's all the scoops we have for you this week. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Sam. My name is Damon. This is IGN Gamescoop, and we're out.